Hey guys, Lincoln Parks here, and today's podcast was brought to you by We Are Henry. We Are Henry is one of our sponsors. If you have not been or seen We Are Henry magazine, beautiful magazine. You can look at it, flip through the pages, look local stories that are happening right here in Henry County. All you have to do, visit wearehenry.com, our local magazine. We've partnered with We Are Henry. So if you go to wearehenry.com and then click on the advertising button at the top, which is wearehenry.com, We Are Henry, my local. If you go click on that link, you'll see all the advertising plans that we have partnered together. You get a banner, you get in the digital newsletter. You are on both the websites for My Local Henry and We Are Henry. I'm telling you, it's a great partnership, great community partner. We Are Henry, and I know you see these magazines all around. Check out our partner, wearehenry.com. Now, let's get back to the program. Hey guys, this is Lincoln Parks, and I want to welcome you to the I'm Local podcast. Today, I'm so excited to be speaking with Dr. Rodney Clark from Creekside Christian School. Dr. Clark, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be with you today.
Absolutely. So, Dr. Clark, I want to, just jump in real quick and ask some questions around Creekside. I've heard about Creekside, and I know Creekside's been in Henry County, but give us some background on Creekside and what you guys are doing in the community.
Absolutely. So Creekside's been around for 50 years. We're going into our 51st year. So last year we celebrated our 50th anniversary year. Started in 1973. There was a campus up in Morrow. So they were up there for quite a while and then moved down to the Henry County area a little bit later on. We currently have two campuses. We have a K3 through 5th grade campus that's located over in McDonough off of Foster Drive. And then we have a 6th grade through 12th grade campus, which is our West Campus over in Hampton, right off of Mount Carmel Road. And then the ultimate goal is we are in a usage agreement for the East Campus, coupling with the church over there.
Yes.
And so we are trying to fully move the campus to one location. In one site here in Hampton, we have 43 acres of land that we can expand on.
Wow, that's phenomenal to be able to have that amount of space to be able to, continue to grow the school and, like you said, bring everyone into that onto that same campus.
That's right.
So talk to me a little bit about, I know Creekside is a Christian school,
right.
And you go from that K5 all the way up to 12th grade. Talk a little bit about the Christian aspect that you guys bring to your students there at Creekside.
Yeah, absolutely. That is the biggest component of what we do, why we do. Anybody who wants to go get an education, they can go to the public schools here in Henry County. There's lots of good schools and good teachers here in Henry County. In fact, we know a lot of them and couple with them in different ways. But our families come to us because of that biblical worldview component, because of the biblical integration that we do in the curriculum. And so that's something that they are specifically looking for and that we offer through a Christian education. And so I just kind of briefly go through the ideas of our mission statement. We sum up our mission statement in CCA. We are Creekside Christian Academy, so we are CCA, and so we do our mission statement that way as well. First and foremost, we are Christ-centered, and so everything that we do stems from that, whether it comes from the staff that we are hiring, the curriculum that we are using through the admissions process. Everything that we are doing stems from that Christ-centered as a core value of our mission statement of what we are doing. The second C in CCA is Christian character, and that is what we are instilling. And so through all of the things that we're doing, through the lessons that are being taught, through the curriculum that we use, through everything of that, we are trying to instill Christian character. And so we know that gets done through the school day and the interactions that we have, but through the sports arena with our coaches, through the STEM programs, the chess programs, robotics, aviation, all of these different things that we offer, we are trying to instill Christian character. And so that is at the heart and the root of what we are doing. And then the A, we are a school, so that is academic excellence. We are pushing academic excellence for our students so that they can go out into this world, be good citizens, and be world changers for the things of the Lord.
That's powerful. And when you talk about, just taking them through each one of those core mission values, and they go out into the world, I know you guys have some proud alumni out there that are doing great things and for the Lord and really just making an impact. And that leads me to another question where, I'd like to find out more about the student body, like your current student body. How many students do you currently have in the total campus, from the lower elementary all the way up to high school? And then talk a little bit about some of the curriculum. I know it's a Christian-based curriculum, but if people are watching and listening to this, they want to hear about more about that curriculum, share a little bit more about that with us.
Sure. So we currently have about 650 students, K3 through 12th grade. As most of the schools here in the South Metro Atlanta area have experienced, we've gone down a little bit in enrollment this year. We actually did not take much of a decrease this year, just a little bit. But I think there's a lot of reasons that you can take a look at that when you look at economy and concerns of where some of those things are. When you have an election year, everybody kind of holds back to see what's going on. And, the state passed through this tax voucher that will give some students $6,500 a year towards their school if they are in one of the bottom 25% low performing schools. And so there's a number of those that are here in Henry County. And so I think people have held off because you have to be coming from the public school, and that does not kick in until next year. And so, if somebody's making a decision about going to school and they come this year, then they get nothing ever. But if they wait till next year and find out they are eligible, they do live in one of those areas and receive some of those dollars, they can continue to get it throughout their career here at a private school. And so I think that turns around. This maybe even better than I do. When we look at population growth here in Henry County, what they've projected out, particularly in the area that we're in Hampton, we're going to see quite a bit of that growth because they've approved in Southampton about a 7,000 unit housing district is going to go in. Over in Lovejoy, there's another 1,700. We just got word over off of Minter Drive over there. Once again, in the Hampton area, there's a whole commercial complex that they've approved to go in. And so we see a lot of growth and building that's going on over here in this area. And so we feel like we're really staged for growth in the next several years, particularly at our price point. Anybody who's listening, you can check it out. You can go on site to our website and see how much we're charging a year versus the other private Christian schools in the area. But if you come talk to us, you'll see everything that we offer is every bit as much, if not more, in some areas as to what we are able to do with that. When we talk about the curriculum, we can look at some of the textbooks that we use. The curriculum obviously is greater than that with some of the supplemental materials and what the teacher brings into the classroom and doing some of those things and just that biblical component. From a textbook standpoint, some of the ones that we use in the elementary, we use some with Abeka. We're using Bob Jones University Press quite a bit. Those are Christian-based curriculums. When we get into the high school a little bit more, we are still using those as a foundation and a base because they have that biblical worldview component. But there are some curriculums out there, particularly in math, that are more conducive to online work and some of those things that students are used to that can give immediate feedback and be helpful, like a Delta Math or something. And so we are using some of those things in our curriculum as well. But the teacher is the one who is in charge of that class and the curriculum. And so even though they have that textbook or some of those other things, they're the one that's responsible for conveying that to the student, helping them learn that, and then, of course, bringing in that biblical integration, biblical worldview.
That's phenomenal. And I remember, this might have been a couple months ago. I think it was when the Atlanta vibe, I think was there at Creekside. I was at that event. Really great campus. Really put on a great event there. And I remember you going up to speak, and you were speaking about your fine arts and what you guys are doing in the fine arts. And that's an area that really maybe a little bit underutilized when it comes to high school. So talk a little bit about your fine arts program.
Yeah, we are excited about what's going on in the fine arts. When I came in 4 years ago, a lot of schools will put money towards their athletic programs, and I'm big on
Yeah.
athletics. I played athletics through high school. I even played some athletics in college, and so I love doing that. My kids have all played athletics in high school, and I had a daughter go on to D2 and do some athletics at a D2 school. So I appreciate that, and we want to make sure that we are doing that at a high level. But some things that are making a big impact, there's only a small group of students who fit into that category for athletics that are going to go to that next level. The bigger impact
Right.
we can make is through some of the things that we're doing academically and through the fine arts. And so I said, let's start directing money towards things that are going to make a bigger impact for our student body while still
Right.
doing athletics at a high level.
Right.
We want to do that.
Yes.
But we started looking into giving money to our STEM program, to the robotics program, to our chess clubs, to our academic teams. And so just to list some of those things for you that we have going on, we ran a chess camp one summer and had 70 kids show up for a full week doing chess club stuff. We've been the state champions in chess at our level for 2 out of the past 4 years.
Wow.
We teach Aviation 1 and Aviation 2. We have cybersecurity going on. We had a student receive a $9,000 scholarship for cybersecurity last year. We have 4 or 5 students that are currently on track to receive that much, if not more, for certification in cybersecurity. And cybersecurity is one of the fastest growing jobs and industries that there's going on right now. In fact, if you talk
That's
to
right.
Chick-fil-A, who is growing like crazy and going international, one of their fastest growing divisions is their cybersecurity division. And so this is an
Yes.
area that we've been pushing kids in. In the STEM program, we, for the past 2 years, have flown teams out to Grand Canyon University where they do an international STEM competition. And so this past year, we had 3 teams go out there, and they came back in their categories with a first place, and a third place in STEM. And so just giving them those opportunities to be able to branch out, see those types of things, have those investments, and get involved. We are trying to partner with businesses here in the area. We did a
Yes.
career day last year where we had 35 businesses come in so that our kids could go ask questions and couple and partner with them. As a result of that, we've got kids doing internships in the community in areas that they might see themselves going into a career. And so we had a young lady that just did an internship at Piedmont Henry this summer. And I was visiting with one of the ladies who works with that from Piedmont because she and I were in Leadership Henry together. And she was telling me how great this young lady was, what a great job she did. They're trying to work around her schedule, give her some hours this school year as she's a senior. And then, from these types of things, they track these kids through college. It can open some doors and help them out. And so that's our goal for our kids, is to partner in the community with as many businesses as we can to benefit them by kids coming and doing
Yes.
the work, but to benefit our students for what they're doing. Because, the education of you come through, you get your high school degree, you go to college, you do 2 years of the basics, then you choose your major and you go through. That's long gone.
Right.
You go
Right.
into
Yeah.
college and you start in on your major. And now it's even moving to the high school ranks where kids are getting involved. They're having their portfolios. They're building up where they want to go into. And employers are taking a notice of that. And they're starting to
That's
track
right.
kids through college because it's a money savers for them if they can get somebody who already comes out with some experience. And so we want to
Yes.
jump into that, start giving our kids those experiences so that they can get invested into the work world.
That is phenomenal. I mean, with all of the things that you guys are doing there at Creekside, it's just so amazing how you're pouring into the students, and like you mentioned, just getting them connected with businesses that are in the community. And I know, as people are listening and watching to this podcast, definitely reach out to Dr. Clark and his team over there at Creekside, because business community, like you mentioned, it's phenomenal. That's the real world experience that students are able to get and moving on to college. And there may be some students that college may not be for them. However, if they're already in the workforce and knowing how to navigate that and working, and may find out this is something that I really want to do, or maybe this isn't something that I want to do. I want to go in another path. That's a great experience for high school students.
That's right. And learning these things in high school through a couple internships can save parents thousands of dollars of their kid going down the wrong path to say, I don't really enjoy that.
That's right.
Or
that's right.
No matter what you do in college, it's still in theory. It's not on practice on the job, unless those colleges are doing that. And so you could get to the end of a degree and then realize that's not really what I want to do.
Absolutely. And look, we've been there. I know tons of people in my family and friends, and that have gone all the way through, and they're like, what, this isn't what I really wanted to do. And so, having as many experiences as you can, while you're younger and in high school and moving up the ranks is the way to go.
And I'll just speak from experience real quick. I'll keep this story a little bit short, but my oldest daughter graduated from college last year. We were out in Oklahoma for a little while. It's the home of Phillips 66 was the town that we lived in. And then they merged. It's Conoco Phillips 66. Okay. And so she got an internship her senior year in accounting to work in one of their global regions, and was like on the 13th floor of Phillips 66 building, getting a paid internship. They followed her through college. They kept track of her because they were impressed with what she had done. As a result of that, because of her resume builder, not only did she get scholarships to go to college that paid for about 65 to 70% of her college tuition to help out, and then other stuff that we were able to acquire from others. So it helped in that area. But she had other companies then interested in hiring her. She did 3 internships through college. Each one of them offered her a job. And she just kept praying that the Lord would lead her into the right direction. Well, through one of these internships that offered her a job, they coupled with a top 10 accounting firm in downtown Atlanta that's called Forvis. And so she did an internship between her junior and senior year at Forvis. They hired her. She signed a contract before even going back to college her senior year. She had a job. She went back, finished off her senior year, and she's starting at Forvis because of an internship like this. Because they're interested in that. It gives the kids the experience and they move through. When I had that happen with my own daughter, I thought, this is the opportunity we need to be giving every single one of our kids. They need to be having those types of doors open for them. And so we want to do that for all of our kids that are coming through Creekside.
Wow, powerful. That's a powerful story. So Dr. Clark, in wrapping up, I want to ask, you're looking, we talked about the tax credit that's coming in next year. That's going to open it up for a lot of students to enroll in Creekside and take their careers in a different path, that that Christian path that we know is needed right now in our communities. And so, what would you say to those parents, or what would you say to anyone that's looking at Christian school or Christian education, private school education? What would you say to those parents?
Yeah. So with that tax voucher that's coming through, I don't know that we know all the stipulations of how that's going to work yet, but we are taking the information that's we're going to start putting that out on our website. We're going to start holding meetings with that. We're going to be putting informational meetings out and meeting with groups of people who want to know more. And then we're going to start walking families through as we learn how they can do that to get in. Because what I do know is they've allowed for 1%. It's got a cap on it. It's 1% of the education budget. So it's going to impact about 22,000 students in the state of Georgia. So
that's huge.
It sounds like a lot of money when they first put it out there, but when you think of 22,000 students spread out over the whole state, it's going to be whoever's the first one to come to the trough. And so we're going to start getting that information out so that anybody who's interested in coming to Creekside, because when our tuition's lower, that $6,500 goes a whole lot further. And so now you're not paying as much extra on the other end. And so we can help walk families through that, but it's going to have to be an early process when they open that up in like January or February when they start those enrollments. So we're going to start getting information out on our new website that's going to be going up pretty soon and talking people through that so that they can do that, because we want people to have the opportunity. One of the reasons why my wife and I, when the Lord was leading us different places, we were praying like, where are you leading us, Lord? Why Creekside stood out to us was because of the lower tuition. because we want to make education affordable for people who want that Christian biblical foundation. And with the
That's right.
state doing what they're doing with that, that makes it even more attainable for people who want to come alongside and just have their kids in that type of environment. And so we
That's
want
right.
to help and partner with that.
Yeah, well, I mean that is phenomenal, and again, and what you guys are doing at Creekside, I definitely commend you and your entire staff. I know I see your students in the community; they're doing phenomenal things, and you guys are truly making an impact in their lives through Creekside. So, Dr. Clark, I just appreciate you being on with me, just
Yeah.
sharing some information about Creekside, and I know you guys are gonna continue to do God's work through education, and those kids and everyone in the community are going to be blessed. So thanks again for being on
And
today.
if you don't mind me adding one more thing to this,
Absolutely.
we do want to be a school that is a part of our community. We want to be involved in our community, and we're saying, how can we be good citizens, and how can we teach our
Yes.
students to be good citizens and involved in the community? We don't have a private Christian school so that we can wall ourselves up inside of here and be protected from the evils of the world. That's not what's going on. We want to
Right.
have a school where we are training people in that foundation of the biblical worldview, and how do we confront the world in which we live, partner with the world in which we live, become better citizens, and make our world better. And so we're doing that by partnering with businesses, by getting our students those opportunities, by being involved with the Chamber of Commerce, by being involved in Leadership
Yeah.
Henry. And we have 6 students, I think, that are a part of Leadership Henry Youth this year that are going to be a part of doing that and branching out. And so we're trying to be active in our community and take what we really believe and not just talk about it, but we're actually walking that faith out on a daily basis.
And look, I just want to tell you, we see it. We see it. We know what you guys are doing, and you mentioned Youth Leadership Henry and Leadership Henry. I myself, went through in 2015,
Nice.
and that's where we built so many community connections, and that's really the purpose of this podcast, was really to highlight individuals and businesses and schools and organizations that are doing phenomenal things, and you guys are right up there. You raised the bar for everyone, so we truly appreciate your leadership in Henry County.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate your time, and I appreciate you allowing me to come on your platform.
Absolutely. Well, you take care. Have a great day, and continue to do what you're doing for Creekside.
Thank you.
Community.
God bless.
Thank you.